Hello, good evening, viewers. This is attorney Naresh Gehi, and welcome to Green Card with Gehi. And today's show is live, and as always, we'll be taking questions and answers from our viewers. So stay tuned, and a very important show coming up about the fee increases from the USCIS. And the fee increases are going to be effective from October 2nd. So there's going to be a massive fee increase. So people who want to apply for the immigration documents should apply for immigration benefits as soon as possible. So if you are planning on filing any application, including a citizenship application, or if you're trying to renew your work permit, or if you're planning on going for advance parole, or even if you're planning on filing for your asylum, there are going to be fees that are coming into effect uh, from October 2nd. So I would strongly recommend all of you to start filing all your papers before October 2nd. So make sure that immigration receives your papers before October 2nd. So probably you may be able to save a lot of money. So today's show is live. And so, we're going to begin with the live show today. And if there are any questions, the rules are very simple, that this is a live show. Start asking your questions. All right, so I'm just typing that so people know that it's a live show. That's my usual way of saying that, yes, I'm on live. So folks, what's happening in immigration? The fees are increasing, but unfortunately the benefits are not. So it's a sad reality of what you're seeing in immigration. They want to get to someone's wallet, so they're going after immigrants' wallets now. So why are they increasing the fee? Just to make sure that they get more money from people who are immigrants in this country. So what are the fee increments? Number one is that if you are going to apply for adjustment of status, so which means there are times wherein you marry an American citizen or when you're sponsoring your parents, generally you tend to apply for adjustment of status for your parent or for your spouse. So, or even under the employment-based immigration category. So in the past, people were not paying a separate fee for the I-131, that's for the advance parole. But now, under the new rules, you will have to pay a separate fee for that. So that is something that is new, and I think people will have to kind of pay the new fee. And it's a pretty steep increase. The other fee which is going up is the citizenship fee, and it's a major fee hike. So it's going to go up to $1,100, some $725. That's an exorbitant increase, and I think that's a massive increase. But unfortunately, that's the case. So therefore, if you are planning on applying for your citizenship, contact us as soon as possible so that we can file your citizenship as soon as possible. So even with asylums, there is going to be a fee. So if you are even applying for your asylum, get in touch with your lawyer as soon as possible, because there is going to be a fee that is coming into effect for people who are going to apply for political asylum. So there's another change is in the past, when you were applying for adjustment of status for your children, you were paying a lesser fee. But now, going forward after October 2nd, you'll be paying the same fee that you pay as an adult, which means there are major increases that are coming into effect in terms of immigration fees. So besides that, a few things that remain unchanged. Battered spouses will not be paying a fee. That is one good news. And people with U visas will not be paying fees. And also, it's going to be very difficult for us to get fee waivers. So this is something that is a matter of concern to all of us. So just make sure that when it comes to filing your immigration documents, and make sure that you file it before October 2nd. And also, as you all are seeing some other sad news coming from the world of immigration, there are regulations coming into effect. There are regulations that are coming into effect wherein they're planning on making H-1B more difficult. The definition of specialty occupation is being changed. I cannot understand what the current administration is doing. They just want to come up with their own laws. And the sad reality of immigration is that the executive branch plays a major role in immigration, which means the system of checks and balances really does not exist in the world of immigration. So, whenever you're seeing all these political issues coming up, look at the current agenda of politicians. They are using immigration as a sword. That should not be the case, but this is the reality we are facing. So if you are planning on filing for an H-1B, if you're planning on doing for a transfer, we've been getting a lot of cases involving H-1B transfers. We've been getting a lot of cases involving H-1Bs, wherein people are changing employers, they're transferring employers, they're extending the H-1Bs. So we've been doing a lot of those cases. Make sure you do it as soon as possible. Don't waste time, because of the regulations for H-1B change. Even if your H-1B was approved in the past, it may be denied in future, because we really don't know how the administration is moving further in these cases. So if I were you, I would be very careful. I would make sure that I would take the highest level of precautions to secure myself if I'm an H-1B visa holder. Thirdly, the other thing which I'm seeing that is happening for a lot of people, and this is applicable to employment-based green cards. And we are going to have a special show next time for people who want to apply under the extraordinary ability category, which means people under EB1. We are going to talk about them. What have we been doing for people who are in this situation? What we are doing, we are applying for the EB1A, and there are many people who may qualify, because I'm seeing a lot of brilliant people in our community. So now Syed Riaz has raised his hand and he has a question. Yes, Syed, can I have your question, please? Syed, your question, please.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I have a two-part question. One
Sure.
is, if a person lost a naturalization certificate,
Yes.
there is a two ways to do, I believe. One is you mail in, or one is online. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And what would be the time frame? How long will it take?
It's taking a long time. It's taking around 9 to 12 months. You don't have to worry, but that's standard processing times for these applications.
Oh, so unfortunately, if you want to travel to India, now they require that naturalization serial number.
Or then what you can do after where do you live? Which state are you in?
California?
All right. So when you applied for your passport, did you send them a copy or something of your naturalization certificate?
No, they gave me, I had a naturalization certificate, but I lost it, misplaced.
No. Do you have a US citizen passport?
Right, I do.
So in that, did you try to look for the number there, or do you have a copy of that application?
Well, I had the whole file is missing from my desk or folder, whatever you can
Okay,
say.
Syed, do me a favor, send me an email, because it's a confidential question. So if you could email me at info@gehilaw.com, I'll get back to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, I understand, I'm very sorry to hear about this. So if you could email me at info@gehilaw.com, I'll be happy to call you back, and send me a name and number, and I'll be happy to call you tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. So now another question here is, can I do adjustment of status for my parents as soon as they are in the US? If so, after how many days? Can I apply for, firstly, it depends that basically which country your parents are from. And when they come in away, whether they have all the documents. But generally when people come in, they come in with the intent of visiting the United States and going back. So, but if they are here and then after that they change their mind, then there is a way for you to do that. The average time frame for those cases is around 8 or 9 months to get the green card over here. So that's my answer to your question. And if there's any more any further questions to this anonymous attendee, you can email us at info@gehilaw.com. Now, Tahira Rizvi, my fiance is in Algeria and I'm working in America As a Canadian citizen, TN, can I call her to visit me in US and do my marriage? Interesting question. Yes, you can ask her to come in and get married to you over here. As far as she is going to be legal in America, and as far as I think you are a diplomat, and if you call her on a G4, you should be fine. So that's my answer for you, Tahira. If she comes in, you can marry her, and I think under the G4 diplomatic category, you may be able to keep her here. Or if you're on a TN visa, then of course, if you marry the person, then you can also keep them as a TN dependent spouse. So those are your two options over here. So Danish, is this for green card immigration or do you help with PR with Canada too? Unfortunately, we specialize in American immigration. So if you have any questions about American immigration, we'd be happy to answer you those questions. So now we have some more questions from people here. So start asking questions and we will continue the show. So keep asking us your questions and the show is live. So we'll continue with your questions and answers. Let me see if there are any more questions coming up. So now EB1A, and this is meant for employment-based immigration category. Now, question is that I'm seeing a lot of brilliant people and they're just scared and nervous that they will not qualify. Firstly, if you're making very good money where you are working, and if you're a person with a PhD, and if you've spoken at conferences, if you've spoken at all these major events, or if you're ready to put in the little extra hard work that you need, do you know that you may not need a sponsor? And that's one thing which I'm telling people. Look at the EB1A category. Look at the EB1B category, outstanding researcher or a professor. Look into that, folks, and don't be nervous. Don't think about the EB2 anymore sometimes. And especially if you're from India or from these countries wherein you are Mr. Brilliant. Don't think about the EB3 when you are brilliant. And people have this mindset that I just want to go into EB2 or into EB. If you are from India or China, think about the EB1. From other countries, I would strongly recommend you, and I've been getting people from different countries getting in touch with us. Mr. Gehi, my employer is ready to sponsor me. No sooner they tell you they want to sponsor you, email us. Tell them that I've already found someone who can represent your company and we can make this process work. You can make that recommendation to your employer. As you all are seeing, that immigration is becoming difficult by the day. Fee increases. You're looking at problems with H-1Bs. You're looking at the definition of specialty occupation that is going to be changed very soon. The regulation is going to change, which I think is very unfair. But this is what we are seeing that is happening in the world of immigration. And what you'll get on a show, you can get your question answers. You can get all your questions answered on this particular show. And this is a live show every Wednesday. So you can ask me any question that relates to immigration, US immigration. It can be an employment visa question. It can be a fiancé visa question. It can be a battered spouse. And if you're an actor, you can talk to me about what is the easy way for you to come to America. If you're an outstanding performer in the arts, in the sciences, ask us your question. If you're a businessman, and this is fantastic news for people from Canada, from the UK, if you are under the e-visa category, your doors are still open. If you're a big company with 35 people, if you're a legitimate businessman, the L visa can still be open for you. So people have started working on those cases because once if the doors are opening up, what's going to happen? Your application can become backlogged. So the best thing is that start preparing now, because as you're seeing that the world is opening up slowly. But remember one thing, folks, it takes time and effort for you as well as the lawyer to do that, the amount of paperwork which is needed in these cases. So make sure that exactly you are ready. That is important. So we're going to take the next question. My parents are Canadian citizens who intend to adjust. Only issue is if they would like me to US AAP, they can spare 5 months like to be able. Yes, they can. You can sponsor your parents for adjustment of status. And as I said, that shouldn't be a problem. And you can email us, then we can discuss further about that question. Now, there's a question from Bushra here. I came here as an immigrant and I was a victim of domestic violence. I applied for WAWA and asked some evidence to prove my domestic. Okay, Bushra, I hope all is well with you. Your case is doing well, but unfortunately, since it's a live show, I cannot discuss your case because you're a current client, but everything is doing well. You should come in and see us. And it's such a pleasure hearing from you, Bushra. So I remember your case. Everything is fine by God's grace. Are there any specific requirements that she needs and which category she can apply for? So if you're a Canadian citizen, she can come in as a spouse. And, I think the better thing would be for you, Tyra, is to have a lawyer. And then after that, you can take it from there. Because what can happen is that if you want to kind of smoothen the process, then you will need legal advice in these cases. And you'll need to retain a lawyer, Tyra. So those are some of the answers to those questions. But the good news is that you're a Canadian citizen, so you can see light at the end of the end of the tunnel in this case. So, folks, if there are any more questions, you can email us or you can kind of chat with us. And the best way to email us is info@gehilaw.com. And our personal consultations are free for people who come in and see us in the office. Can a Canadian carry a US passport or a green card at the same time? If you're a Canadian citizen, of course you can carry a green card. That shouldn't be a problem. But if you're from Canada, and if Canada allows you dual citizenship, then you may be eligible for US citizenship as well as for Canadian citizenship. But as far as the green card is concerned, that's not a problem at all. That is my answer to Danish. And let's see if you have more questions, or as we go on, we'll talk about the show. So folks, as I said, L visas are doing well still. L1 extensions are doing well. H1B extensions are doing well. H1B transfers are doing pretty well. EB1 is doing very well. And E2 visas are doing well. Asylums are still going on. So folks, all these things are going on for sure. Yes, I think I see Tyra's question. She's not a Canadian citizen. I know that. But as far as you are a Canadian citizen, Tyra, she can basically, if you marry her, then she can basically come in and be your spouse and live into the US. Now, Fred Dutch from Facebook, greetings from Istanbul. My son is a scholar seeking schooling in the US. What will he need for this? First, he needs to have a school. He needs to apply into a school into the United States. And if the school accepts him, then your son can come and he can kind of basically start schooling in America. So he can come in on a student visa after he's accepted in school. But if you want us to assist you with the process, we'll be happy to do so, Fred. So you can email us at info@gehilaw.com. So you're looking at a student visa, so you can come to the US and study. So even those visas are open. We've been assisting people from different countries who want their children to come in and study in the United States too. So those are things that people are still considering. Student visas are still fine, and there's no bar on the student visas. So people have asked me some more questions. When are the concerts going to open? As you all know that, the bar has been for a lot of people until December. That's sad. The logic doesn't make any sense for me, and I wish, the doors should be open tomorrow and people should be quarantined and they should be back. So the thing is that why should we only target immigrants? That's one thing I don't understand. Why immigrants only? So Mike Buchalfan puts it, is it possible to sue someone for injury in the US, even though yes, Mike, I've had cases wherein people have been undocumented. And if you have suffered a serious injury, we can help you. And the good thing in these cases is that there's no attorney fee until we recover. So Mike, yes, you may have a case, and it doesn't matter if you're undocumented, you can file, a PI case, if you're seriously injured. So get in touch with us, Mike. We'll be happy to help you out. So folks, as I said, this is such a great show and I love my audience. Share the message, and this is a live show every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. So, keep reaching us, and we are here to answer your questions. And this is your time with Attorney Gehi. So I'm waiting for the next question, and let's see who's the next lucky person asking me the question here. And remember the rules, very clear that we have children on the show. So please be respectful, because the law is very clear that if any slang language is used and if someone is offended because of his race, religion, national origin, or if someone is a child who gets offended, there may be legal consequences. So always have your name and keep it kosher, because these shows are recorded. And we also track emails from people who send it to us. So just make sure that we keep everything basically, kosher for everybody out here. So folks, some more things, again, let me repeat, immigration fees are going up on October 2nd. So therefore, if you're applying for a citizenship, doesn't matter where you are in the country, make sure that you apply ASAP if you're eligible. There's a steep increase in the fee. From $725, it's going up to $1,100. So the best time is now. Start working on it. We can assist you with the entire process, even if you speak basic English, because the law under 316 of the Immigration and Nationality Act is very clear that a person who applies for US citizenship should have basic knowledge of English. We don't expect him to be a Shakespeare, or we don't expect him to be a book writer or a Pulitzer Prize winner. So the bottom line is that if you are someone who is applying for American citizenship, the time may be now. If you are getting married to a US citizen, do it ASAP. If you are getting married to a green card holder, get it done ASAP, because the fees are going to increase soon. So folks, let's say, okay, now let's see. Okay, Dino Miroku from Facebook. When will your new office open? So right now, Dino, we have 3 offices. And the good news is we are starting a big office in Jackson Heights next month. So we'll be having a 4th office coming up soon. So, and we have 35 people working in our firm, so the good thing is that also we are expanding our practice areas, because now, by the blessings of viewers like you, we are expanding into other areas like criminal law, because as an immigration law firm, we realize that people have other needs into divorces, family law, criminal, as well as into labor law. So that's what we are doing these days, folks. So let's see who, Miranda Flicker from Facebook, please explain reinstatement of public charge. So now they're coming back with this public charge thing, another way to trouble people. Let's see how the law gets implemented. They want to deny cases wherein they see that if, for example, your spouse is sponsoring you, if he's not making enough income, so they want to say that, listen, I think it's so arbitrary and capricious that you're not going to be able to support your spouse. So they're just making things harder. So for example, if you are applying for visa processing now, if you are applying for adjustment of status, and if you're submitting the affidavit of support under section 213 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, you have to be very careful. They are going to scrutinize every single line of your income. And if they feel that you will not be able to support your spouse, if you're someone who doesn't have a job, or if you're someone who hasn't had a job for a long time, or if your spouse is someone who's very senior and someone who won't be able to work in the United States, or he has a serious disability, then it's going to be looked upon by the USCIS officer or by the consulate on a case-by-case basis. But of course, needless to say that there is going to be litigation, and I hope that the judges understand that immigrants have rights, and everyone has good and bad days in life. But that should not become a bar for someone. It should not become an absolute bar for somebody to, basically to not be allowed just because of the public charge issue. Now, that's my answer to Miranda Fricker. So that's what the public charge issue is. So Section 213 of the Immigration and Nationality Act will play a very, very, very major role in connection with the public charge definition for sure. So if your income is good, I don't see that to be a problem. But if your income is not good, that's where we're going to see some issues. Diana Milko from Facebook, please explain the e-visa. Now, e-visa is really simple. You're sitting in your home country. You are in Canada, you're in the UK, you're in another country, or you're in Pakistan, you're in Trinidad. Those are countries that have a treaty with the United States. So first thing is check, and even Bangladesh. I mean, these are some of the countries I know from the back of my head. These are countries that have a treaty with the United States. So the good news is that if you're a business person, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to invest $900,000. Think about your business. You're a yoga teacher, or you're a boxer, and now you want to start a business in America. Step number one, check whether your country is a part of the e-visa program. Second step I would look at, excellent. How much money would you need to establish that business in the United States? So if I'm a yoga teacher, I may just need $50,000. Example, I just need a studio and I need a few mats, so that you can work out, and you may just need a few dumbbells. That is give or take 30 or 40. So immigration is saying that you need to make a substantial investment in your business when you start it. So the good news is that we've been helping people with the e-visa, and that is an excellent visa. And the other good news about the e-visa? Your spouse can also come here, and your spouse can work in this country. Your children under the age of 21 can come with you, and you can keep extending the e-visa. So that is fantastic, folks. So folks, it's 6:57. So we have a very small time slot for 2 or 3 more questions. Please ask your questions as soon as possible. Again, this is a live show. This is your show. And next time, we are going to help people, under the employment-based immigration category. So next show is going to be question and answers with Mr. Gehi regarding employment-based immigration, and also again in connection with the O visas and the P visas, and also about religious workers. We're going to talk about them. So people have been asking me to talk about religious workers too. So this is what we get. It's an interactive show between us so that we can make things happen for our viewers. So folks, it's 6:58 right now. And if you have any questions, I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to wait for the next question of the day. Let's see who's going to ask us the next question. This is a live show. It's your time to ask the question. All right. George Harris from Facebook. I want to move to America from the UK. I have a wife who lives in the US. How will this work? Now, if your wife is an American citizen, George, great news for you. She can sponsor you for the green card. That would be the easy way out. If not, then consider the e-visa and invest money, and you can even come to the United States. So that's my answer to George's question. So if your wife is a green card holder or a US citizen, or if your spouse is a green card holder or a US citizen, she can sponsor you right away. If not, you can come to the US by investing money on an investor's visa, which is known as an easier visa. That is the E2 visa, and you can start your own business. That's how things work. So that's the answer to the question for, for, I would say, our wonderful friend over here, that's George. And if there's any other questions, please do let us know. And once again, thank you for watching. The instant program constitutes an attorney advertisement. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome. We'll be back again next week with our viewers, and you can contact us via email or calling us for a free personal consultation. And we handle immigration cases from all over the United States and the world. And remember, share this message. And again, next week, question and answers, your question and my answers on employment-based immigration with Attorney Gehi. All questions from e-visa countries will be answered, O visas will be answered, P visas will be answered, and religious worker visas will be answered only on Green Card with Gehi. Good luck and thank you for watching this program, Green Card with Gehi with Attorney Gehi.